Thanks for watching Littleton Common. And now, here's Barbara McRae and Mark Crory. Hello, welcome to the May edition of Littleton Common. I'm Mark, and this is Barbara.
Yep, that's me. You know, April was full of surprises. There was sun, rain, and even snow. So it's time to see what May will offer us.
Right, May. You know, some places celebrate with a maypole. And Sudbury is having a maypole dance on May 4th at 11:30 on the Sudbury Common. Kind of interesting.
What do we know about the maypole tradition? The dance is a spring ritual long known to Western Europeans, usually performed on May 1st or May Day. The folk custom is done around a pole trimmed with flowers and ribbon to symbolize a tree. When the British settled in the U.S., they brought the maypole tradition with them. In Plymouth, in 1675, a man named Thomas Morton erected a giant maypole in his field. He brewed a batch of hearty mead and invited village lasses to come frolic with him. His neighbors were appalled, and Plymouth leader Miles Standish himself came along to break up the sinful festivities. The maypole dancing practice today is likely connected to the dance's revival in the 1800s and not to the ancient version of the custom. There are more structured than wild maypole dances of centuries past.
Interesting. I do remember in school, we used to celebrate May Day or maypole.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we don't do as...
No, we just kind of held hands and, ring around the rosy, that kind of thing.
I think a lot of the old traditions are being put aside these days, which is kind of sad.
I guess.
Maybe they have new ones.
Although I'm not particularly sad that maypole dancing is going away.
For the boys.
If you've seen me dance, you'd know why I say that, okay?
Oh, well.
Yeah.
May is another tradition, and it's ta-da, Mother's Day. Don't forget that it's on Sunday, May 11th, and get your cards ready and think about a gift. And if you're looking for a gift, try the Littleton Country Gardener's plant sale. What mom doesn't like getting flowers? The place is the Common, the 10th of May, and the plants are many, and the gardeners are there to help with choices. Megan Murphy has been working on another May celebration, Lunch at the Center for Cinco de Mayo on May 7th.
5th.
And your band will be there.
Yeah, May 5th, Cinco.
Oh.
Cinco de Mayo, not sete or whatever 7 is.
I want to say Cinco.
Don't say Cinco, Cinco.
Cinco de Mayo. Did I say the right date?
Yes, May 5th. You said the 7th.
I did?
Yes.
Fire me.
You're not getting paid this show.
All right. Well, we've got your music there, and that's always enjoyable. But sign up at 540-2470.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if there's any spaces available because that's a pretty popular band that's playing there.
I think it's full.
It
totally full.
That's great. We have a fun time playing down there at the seniors, for the seniors. And, I think I might have said this before in a past show. We play songs from the 50s and the 60s. And I've been playing for seniors for 25 years at least. Well, 25 years ago, the 50s and 60s were a little bit too raucous for the seniors back then because they grew up on songs from the 30s and 40s.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But now, the seniors grew up with songs in the 50s and 60s. So we finally hit our stride. It's like these songs are just, it brings them back to their youth.
Yep.
And the songs, there's something about music that a song can take you back.
Yeah, and also, we understand the feeling of it and the words. So let's face it, a few years down the road, what's it going to be? Rap?
Maybe, that's right. I'll have to learn that if I'm still around playing music. at senior centers.
We'll have to learn how to say it.
Yeah, I can see myself in the senior center someday as a resident and also playing some Michael Jackson or something from the 80s when I grew up, you know.
Right.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. Also, in May is our annual town meeting. It's on Tuesday, May 6th, and LCTV will be there on the 5th, actually, Cinco de Mayo. We'll be there in the afternoon to set up all the gear and get everything ready along with other town employees for town meeting on the 6th. It starts at 7 o'clock at the middle school gymnasium. And come on out. There's a lot of articles there, a lot of important things that you want to vote on, and we hope to see you there.
Yep. Yeah. And try to come in person, especially if you want to hear what is going on with your town. Pay attention, or you'll be too late to voice your opinion to or against any changes.
Right. And town elections are on Saturday, May 10th. The polls open at 8 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. And voting takes place at the Littleton Middle School Gymnasium on Russell Street. So make sure you do your patriotic and your civic duty and vote. And every vote will be counted, and yours just might be the deciding one.
If you haven't heard, there are many Littleton residents who are in need. Loaves and Fishes is always ready and able to help with food and more. Rotary has programs to help, and also the Friends of the COA and Elder Human Services and the Council on Aging. Another we are going to hear from today is the St. Vincent de Paul organization. So meet Marianne Heer, and she's the St. Vincent de Paul St. Anne's president, and fundraiser chair for St. Vincent de Paul is Patty Jackson. You know, we all know about the Goodwill, the Salvation Army, but we haven't really heard a lot about St. Vincent de Paul. And this is why we're here today. We're here with Marianne Heer and Patty Jackson, and we're going to talk about what goes on at see what happens? The name comes out to something else. St. Vincent de Paul. And, you know, a lot of these, for instance, we have Goodwill that does good things. We have the Salvation Army, which does good things. EHS, Council on Aging, we're always helping. But now, St. Vincent de Paul has been helping a very long time. I'm not even sure how many years it's been here. Yeah. Do you know?
So St. Vincent de Paul was founded, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul was founded almost 200 years ago. In 1833 over in Paris. And Patty and I are here representing, though, our local conference, St. Vincent de Paul here in St. Anne's. But it was an organization that was founded by a bunch of 20-year-old students who saw that there was a need, right, to help the poor folks in their community. Good. So it's been going strong ever since.
Well, this is great. So tell us about St. Vincent de Paul as far as, like I said, you do good things. But just in general, give us a story.
Sure. So I'll paraphrase our mission statement, right? We are a network of friends inspired by gospel values to build relationships and make the world a more just place by helping people in need. And what that translates to and how we really put that into action is by meeting with people in need in the towns of Littleton and Heer. So that's the area that we support. And usually it's, you know, folks that have lost a job, are going through a medical situation that prevents them from working, an unexpected car repair, and they just are going through a rough patch and could use some help.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm learning, and I'm very surprised, and I'm sure a lot of people that are watching will be surprised, is that Littleton has many people who are in need.
Yeah, that was surprising, I think, for all of us when we first joined, is the need in the community. And there are a lot of agencies out there that support people, and we tend to partner with those, but there's a lot more need than you would expect, right, in
Yeah.
a town like Littleton.
Yeah, that's what surprised me.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, excuse me, I'm going to cough. Well, how did you get involved?
So being a member of St. Anne's Church, I had heard about St. Vincent de Paul, and I knew that the great work that they did, and I just thought it would be a good opportunity to volunteer. I think, like many of us who volunteer, we have no idea what we're getting into when we first start. But it really is a great community of people, and that's what I think that a lot of us really like about it, is we take care of each other first.
Good.
And then we service the people in our community that have some of those needs that I identified. There are three things that we like to think of that we give. Like I said, usually there's a financial component. We'll write a check, whether that's to Littleton Electric or maybe one of the local garages for folks who need help there.
Wow.
We also give referrals, either to EH&S. We work closely with Amy and Alicia at EHS, also with RAFT or SMOC or other state agencies where folks can get help. And then we like to think that we give people hope, right? So that's the third thing that we offer.
Well, that's excellent. Excellent. What about volunteers? Do you need volunteers, or do you want people to volunteer? What about
We
that?
can always use more volunteers, right?
Yes.
So it's right now, I would say we have, I think, 28 Vincentians. That's what we call ourselves, Vincentians. We have about 28 Vincentians at St. Anne's Conference, and about 20 of those are active. So those are folks that actually go out and visit with neighbors and help to understand their situation and see how we can help. So it's a good sized group now, but we can always use additional volunteers.
What is needed? I mean, like, you do take clothing, shoes, money, I'm sure.
For sure. I mentioned that we have a close affiliation with the church here in town, with Blessed Trinity Parish and St. Anne's. And the work that we do, we can do because of the generosity of both parishioners and just folks around town who donate, because I think one thing that's appealing is that they know that the money stays in the community, right? There's no overhead, and every dime that we get goes to one of our neighbors or people who have a need. So that's one way that we we receive donations from folks. So that certainly helps us, and we're always welcoming of donations. And we have fundraisers. We have a mum sale in the fall that helps to raise funds. We have a walk in November on Veterans Day, which we raise some funds. And we'd also love to talk a little bit about a fundraiser that we have coming up
Sure.
in May.
But first, I'm thinking, let's tell them where they can donate the clothes at St. Anne's.
At St. Anne's, 75 King Street in Littleton, Mass. We have a bin in the back, and we accept all clothing and shoe donations as well.
Okay. No housewares.
No housewares.
Okay.
Right.
We make sure you're not dropping housewares in the bin, just clothing.
That's right.
And, well, good. So maybe we could hear about the fundraiser. We have our fundraiser lady.
Yes, so what we're doing, and this is really a first for us, is we're having a fundraiser at Dirigible Brewing Company, which is here in Littleton on, can't remember the name of the road.
Porter?
Yes, Porter Road. And it's going to be on May 20th, and it's a Tuesday, and it's going to run from 4 to 8 o'clock.
Right.
And so we're working with Chris Loring and his business partner, Colin Knirk, and they have graciously offered their facility
Nice.
for our fundraiser.
Nice.
So we're going to have auctions, a silent auction, 50-50 raffle, and also gift basket raffle. And then we even have 2 food trucks, Twisted Pickle and Laos Mexican.
Yep.
And then we have music by Brian Stormwind. He will come in around 5:45, and he's going to play for free for a couple hours. He plays acoustic guitar, and I guess he's a regular there at Dirigible. So we're crossing our fingers so we have great weather.
Right.
And you know, because they do have a patio up there, and then with the food trucks being outside and everything.
Yeah. So did you say that this was something you didn't do ordinarily?
Yeah, it's our first time.
Ah.
Yes.
Right, and I think there was an event, a similar event for Loaves and Fishes last year, which was really successful. So we thought we'd try something similar.
Right.
Good,
Right.
good. So are you really in need of anything in particular? You know, sometimes we don't get enough money, we don't get enough shoes or...
So we have some excellent donations, and maybe Patty can talk about those a little bit. I think one thing that we want is for people to come and join us.
Right.
Of course.
But
Right.
but we have some really good donations for sure.
Right. I mean,
good way
the
to,
community has been wonderful. I mean, pretty much every restaurant in Littleton and some in Air have all donated gift cards for us to auction off. And also you have the opportunity for boxing lessons, for axe throwing, for golf simulator, and Neshoba Garage has also offered a gift certificate. So we
Nice.
have a wide variety of things that we're going to offer in the silent auction.
Good. So this sounds like it should be a success, I think.
We think so.
Yeah.
We think so. I mean, obviously, we're working really hard to get the word out, and
It also sounds like a really great, fun time.
so
So,
Yeah, that's the goal. I
and
mean,
that's
Patty's-
important.
Yeah, Patty's been amazing in organizing this, and you know, you're always a little nervous your first time, you know, with any event, but we've put a lot of work into it, and like we said, there's been just a lot of generous donations, and hopefully people will come and have fun too. Like
Yeah.
you said, you know, like
Yeah.
really enjoy the event and, you know, make it a real community event.
right.
Well, you're making me happy hearing that the community is very cooperative. Because, you know, if you live in Littleton, and it is so far it's a little town, we are growing, but, you know, you want to know that people care about each other. I mean, any town, let's face it. But when this is your town, you want to, I like the news that people are generous. But also, again, surprising to some people that we need that generosity for some people who just don't have as much as they should,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, and it's hard, and I'm sure you've heard from folks too, between increasing rents, you know, the electric bills. We're fortunate here in Littleton to have Littleton Electric, but national grid rates have gone up tremendously. You know, folks in Air are really experiencing that. So things are hard, right? With the inflation, food is expensive. So we're finding even more need now.
Yeah.
And often it's a rough patch, as we said.
Well, it
that
is a
folks are
lot
going
for
through.
seniors too, because of taxes and bills, and if they own their own home, worrisome that you can keep it or that you can stay in Littleton, you know, for that housing too, you know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we know that, like I said, we know that the Goodwill does a good job in the Salvation Army, and then you have Savers, and then you have our Council on Aging, and there's a lot of good people out there helping as well as they can. But often we need more help. This is why we have fundraisers, to get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
so I'm pleased that, you know, you're doing this and that I'm happy to hear about St. Vincent de Paul. Like I said, I heard about it when I was younger. Connecticut seemed to, I don't know if they have more or I just grew up hearing St. Vincent de Paul. But I hadn't heard that much about it here. And now I'm happy that I can.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you invited us to share more about it, because if you haven't heard about us, then I bet there are a lot of people that haven't, and it's great for us to get the word out, not just for the fundraiser, but also to contact us, right?
Right.
If people have needs.
Right, and so there is an address or a phone number.
A phone number, and that's the best way to contact us is by calling 978-320-4215 and leave a voicemail message, and one of us will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours.
Good, good. So you're there for them, and that's important. That's really important. And I think I'll try some of the thrift shops that you have.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. Everything that you spend at a thrift shop, certainly helps us and helps other conferences
Right.
in the area.
Right.
I think our whole house is thrift shops and, yard sales and flea markets. And
there you go.
then the
Yeah.
clothes is, I love thrift shops.
You'll love
Okay.
it there. Our closest one is in Lowell,
Right.
so that's a good one to try.
I'll have to go look for that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so anything else that you want to share with us? Can you think of anything?
No, I think, I know the main thing we've talked about is that we're available for anyone that lives in Air and Littleton. And that's what's really important for people to know.
Okay.
And-
Yeah, that's a really good point. Sometimes people ask, do you have to be Catholic? And the answer is no.
Right, no.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
we don't.
right. It's a Catholic
It
order.
is, but we don't even ask. So it's just, that's not important. You just have to live in Littleton or Air. And if you live in another town, then we can refer you to that local conference.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You're right, though. People probably do say, well, I'm not Catholic, or, I shouldn't call them. But that's not true.
Yeah,
That's
Not
right.
for any
right,
of the
right. They should
good-
never hesitate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess just the only other thing would be to thank you, Barbara, for inviting us
Yes.
to participate today and to share a little bit more about,
Well, I'm
society.
so glad you could come. And, I'm anxious to see how your fundraiser does.
we'll look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah,
I've got the little flyer. I'm making sure it's attached to the calendar.
There you go.
excellent.
But anyway, it was a great fun meeting you both, and you're doing a great job, and I'm happy for that, and want people to make sure that you look for St. Vincent de Paul, go to the fundraiser, donate clothes, donate money, or help in any way that you can. Give them a call, and they'll direct you in the right place to go. So
Right.
thanks again.
Thank you so
No,
much,
thank you.
Barbara.
Thank you.
That was great. Lots of things going on in May, right, Barbara?
Yes.
The new center on Shattuck Street will have its grand opening on Friday, May 16th at 1 p.m. There'll be a ribbon cutting ceremony and other activities planned for the event. And of course, LCTV will be there to capture this historic event. And there's going to be, if you haven't had a chance to be the select few who have gotten to go into the building prior to its opening, this will be your chance to come in and see the brand new facility. It is gorgeous. You'll love it. Littleton High School seniors, not to be confused with the seniors who will be flocking to the center on Shattuck Street, they'll be wrapping up their high school careers with lots of activities in May. So be sure to check out LCTV On Demand or our YouTube page to see the various award ceremonies that we'll be covering. In addition to that, on Friday, May 30th, LCTV will bring you live coverage of the Class of 2025 commencement ceremony from Alumni Field. And hopefully the weather will cooperate that night. And if the ceremony gets rained out, it will take place the next day in the morning. Some other things in May. Armed Forces Day is May 17th, and Memorial Day is the 26th. And Littleton has their annual parade on that Monday, and that steps off at 9:30 a.m. from Donlands, and the parade route will be to the common area where wreaths will be placed at the World War II, the Korean and Vietnam II, and the GWOT memorials. The band will be there. The high school band will play the national anthem, and the parade marshal will raise the flag. The parade will then proceed to render honors at the Blue Star marker at the old burial ground and the World War I Memorial. And then they'll continue to the Historical Society building, museum there on Roger Street, and render honors to the dead from the Civil War era. And then they'll proceed down King Street to the bridge at Beaver Brook, and the parade marshal will cast a wreath into the water as a naval tribute, and honors will also be rendered there. And then the parade will proceed to West Lawn Cemetery for the ceremony that they have there every year with dignitaries and select people and giving speeches and honors. And it's always a good event. LCTV will be there as well to cover the parade, so you can watch it. But we hope that you can come out live because it's good to support the troops. And it's still a small town Americana, with the flags, and people really enjoy that. So
Yeah.
Also, this parade will be the last for our veterans agent, John Borowski. John will be retiring this year in June. And we just want to thank him for his many years of commitment and service to our veterans.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget Mom on the 11th, and don't forget to hug a senior.